Greetings, Void Fox here. In this video I'm going to show you how to get a culture victory with one of the new civilizations in Civilization 5 Brave New World. I settle my city. I start out of a monument and pottery technology. The main aim here with the first half of the game is to try and expand to 5 cities. The reason for this will become apparent later in the game. I construct a granary in my first city, and I go calendar technology once pottery has finished. This is to take advantage of the wine tile that I have in my first city, and also I have an intention of building the Stonehenge wonder. As you can see, I'm making my way as quickly as possible through the Liberty tree to gain a worker quickly, also to gain a settler in order to settle my second city. As you pick off your technologies early in the game, you need to keep in mind that you are heading towards the Chichen Itza, which is in the civil service technology. What this does is increase the effectiveness of one of Brazil's main perks, which is Carnival. During their golden ages, which are now called Carnival, the tourism score that you build up through the game doubles. So now, writing as research, science is something you do need to keep on top of throughout this strategy in order to access the tourism-based buildings which are new to this expansion, which appear later in the game. And there's Stonehenge. The reason for going Stonehenge for the faith this early in the game is so that we can later on build great artists using faith. Here I choose to build a library now that writing is complete, and also I go for fertility rites as my first pantheon of my religion. So as I work my way ever closer towards the Chichen Itza, I pick up a settler using culture in the Liberty tree. I've already found a nice spot for it, so I send it in that direction. Outside of the route to the Chichen Itza, I pick up the sailing technology. As both of my first 2 cities on the coast, I'm able to take advantage of the new trade route system using cargo ships. What this does basically is enables me, once I have a granary in the sending city, send food to new cities in order to help them grow quicker. Do be careful using these sea trade routes though. Make sure you have some naval units to protect them, otherwise barbarians will just come and pillage them. So as I have 3 cities down now, I hit currency in order to get some markets down. It's also en route to the Chichen Itza. Using the second trade route slot, I choose another cargo ship in order to send more food to this new city that I've settled. Almost at the end of the Liberty tree now. You'll see in a moment exactly why I choose to fill it before moving on to another one. A great prophet spawns. I use it to found my first religion, which is Taoism. I also use the slots to select a gold improvement. Also pagodas, which gives you 2 faith, 2 culture and 2 happiness once they are built in cities using faith. I use the opportunity before civil service is complete to build some national wonders, also to make sure I have libraries in my first 3 cities, keeping on top of the science score, which I stated was quite important earlier. Now civil service is complete, onto the Chichen Itza. Instead of building it from scratch, what I do is I wait for my next culture level up and use the great person spawn to spawn a great engineer in order to fast build it. Basically this is to ensure that I do actually get it. It is vital you get the Chichen Itza for this strategy. Next up is philosophy, guilds and optics. before moving to metal casting so that I can begin to get some workshops in my first cities. Guilds gives you access to the Artist Guild, which is built inside any city you wish. With this, you can opt to fill its specialist slots, consuming food and gold in order to speed up the spawning of great people. These great people are new to this expansion and are necessary in order to build the great works you need to improve on your tourism score, which will bring other people from other civilizations to your country and help you get a culture victory. Consuming the second great profit that spawns enables me to enhance my religion. I opt to increase the effectiveness of the Hermitage, which comes later in the game by adding 5 tourism to my score. I also opt to go for the perk, which spreads my religion to cities which are 30% further away. Okay, now that metal casting is done, I can start to put some workshops in my cities. First up though, find 2 new spots for my 2 other cities that I need to complete the strategy.
Captain Nemo
I also spawn my first great writer. I opt to create a great work. As you can see at the top row, next to the little suitcase, it adds to my tourism score. This will increase throughout the game. Then it's straight to education along the top of the tech tree. Now that I have workshops built in a few of my cities, when I renew my trade route link, it also gives me the opportunity now to not only send food to cities, but send production, which I opt to do here in order to help me build wonders quicker. The other social policy tree you need to fill with this strategy is aesthetics, which gives you boosts across the board with culture. And now education is finished. What I need to do now is head to acoustics so that I can get the Sistine Chapel, which will give me 2 great artist slots, which also gives me access to the theming bonus, which I shall go through shortly. Now we are heading to an important part of the game. I have chosen to build the Artist Guild ready for my spawning of great artists for these slots that I'm about to create. I also fast build with a great engineer the Bourbador, which gives me 3 missionaries to help me spread my religion. Now that acoustics is done, I'm able to start on the Sistine Chapel, and finally I'm able to get down my 5th city. For technology now, we head straight towards archaeology. On the way, we pick up astronomy, which gives us access to the caravel. This is very important to build one as quickly as possible right now so that you can set it onto auto-explore and find other civilizations. The reason for this is your tourism score only has influence on other civilizations if you have spotted them.
Joy.
If you have assigned your specialists to the Artist Guild and the Writers Guild, they will spawn great artists and great writers periodically, which you should use at this point in the game to build great works. And there goes the Sistine Chapel. Once I have one more piece of great artwork, I will be able to show you how to do the theming bonus. At this point, all of my cities are feeding each other with food and production. This enables me to build everything I need to get built before archaeology hits. Gold suffers somewhat during this phase, but you don't really need any gold at this point in the game. Another aesthetics policy drops here. This one reduces the cost of culture leveling by 10%. Another great musician spawns, which I use to create another piece of great work. The Oxford University has also finished building in my capital, which gives me access to a free tech. I use this to research architecture. I continue to spread my religion across the ocean, and with that great artist that just spawns, I'm able to fill the second slot in the Sistine Chapel, giving me access to the theming bonus. This is basically because with the Sistine Chapel you need both pieces of great art to come from the same civilization and to be from the same era. With the Oxford University, however, both pieces of great writing need to be from different civilizations and different eras, from civilizations other than yourself. What you do here is you read the names of the great art that you have in those slots currently, then going to the Swap Great Works tab at the top of the Tourism tab, you can swap these arts, writings or artifacts with other civilizations that you've already discovered. This is another reason why I sent out the caravels earlier. And now archaeology has almost finished researching.
Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
Archaeology gives you access to the wonder, the Louvre. It also gives you access to archaeologists, which can travel the globe looking for antiquity sites in order to excavate works and artifacts. Next up on the tech tree is refrigeration. This gives you access to one of the new buildings, which gives you a boost in tourism, the hotel. Now, before you can build the Louvre, it is a requisite that you adopt the policy exploration. You must do this in order to be able to build it. Now let's have a look at the Culture Victory tab and the Influence by Player tab. It gives you your tourism score compared to other civilizations, and in the Influence by Player tab your aim is to fill the badges next to their names. This is done through an increased tourism score. You can also help this process by putting your spies into their capital cities as diplomats. Use this with cities that seem to be increasing in influence slowly. Now that the Louvre is finished, it is time to build archaeologists en masse. You're going to want to send as many out as possible, as quickly as possible, to acquire as many antiquity sites as you can. From here, with your social policies, it's all about filling the rationalism tree so that you can increase your science totals to get you to the tourism building. Selecting the resource icons tick box will allow you to see these antiquity sites a lot clearer. Another important thing when dealing with the archaeologists, you need to make sure that you negotiate open border treaties, meaning you need embassies with pretty much every other civilization on the map. This does open you up to attack, meaning that it's best to build walls, castles, arsenals, anything you can to stop them from attacking you. Another social policy, another policy from the rationalism tree. Also, an archaeologist has finished his dig. I opt to create an artifact from that, consuming the archaeologist. The key with choosing artifacts from these digs is to go for the widest variety as possible. This helps with your theming bonuses in your newly built museums and in the theming bonuses for the Louvre. Basically, the aim here is to build all culture buildings which have slots for great works in, and fill all of those slots with artifacts and work from the archaeologists. Once this is complete, you can move into the final stage of the game, which will come shortly. Another great engineer has spawned, meaning I can choose a wonder to fast build, seeing as I am trying to lean towards science in this phase of the game to get me to the tourism buildings. I opt to go for the porcelain tower, which gives me great scientist points. Another aim for this section of the game is to save a little bit of gold in order to purchase a few hotels once refrigeration has researched. And there we have it, refrigeration. Notice I used that bit of gold I've saved to purchase a hotel in my capital. Also notice how that affects the tourism score at the top. The next few turns are used to get hotels down in all of my cities, while selecting the radio technology in order to get broadcast towers. Another new thing they've added to this expansion is ideology selection. Late in the game it adds a little bit extra to the game. Here I opt to choose freedom. It then gives you access to 2 choices of tenets. I choose 25% increase in the production of great people and +1 culture for each great work. Now that I have a wide enough selection of great work and artifacts from my archaeologists, I can look at trying to get the theming bonus from the Louvre. Now, with its 4 slots, it is a little tricky. You need 2 great pieces of art, and you need 2 artifacts, all of which from different civilizations, and all of which from different eras. Here's how I put that together. From now on, with every culture level up, you have a choice between choosing the traditional style of culture level ups, or you can choose from the new ideology selection. Here I go to increase my golden ages even further by another 50%, increasing the usefulness of the carnival perk for Brazil. Now that the Louvre is finished, I have since been saving all of my great artists for a play that I'm getting ready for, which I will explain shortly. The next technology you're looking for is radar, which gives you access to another new building, which helps with tourism, the airport. While you're waiting for this new tech, you need to be building these broadcast towers in all of your cities, which will feature later with your tourism score. A quick check-up on the culture victory conditions. As you can see, the badges are filling nicely. One worry though, Persia is filling slower than the rest, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. The next tenet in my ideology will be for happiness. I also select to build the Eiffel Tower, which is a new wonder with this expansion pack. Another great artist to save for later. As you can see, it's given me an alert to let me know that my first culture has been influenced by my tourism. If you take a look in the Influence by Player tab, you can see the badge has filled, which you need to do with every other civilization to win. By now you should have broadcast towers in all of your cities, ready for this next ideology tenet. This one increases the tourism in each city by 34% with a broadcast tower. Now, the play I've been waiting for all game. Basically, I allowed my golden age to trigger naturally with all 4 of the great artists that I have saved through natural spawning and purchasing with faith. I will trigger them all now, giving me a golden age or carnival of over 60 turns. This will double my tourism for this last section of the game and hopefully trigger a culture victory. Now that I have built everything that I need to build for this section of the game, I've switched all of my cities to research, which will hopefully get me to airports quicker than normal, another building which will increase my tourism. Seeing as your cities aren't producing anything, you can switch your trade routes from food and production to trading with other civilizations for gold. This will build your gold levels up to a decent level for when airports hit, so that you can buy them straight away for each of the cities. And so radar finally hits. I use the gold that I have accumulated over the last few turns to purchase these airports in most of my cities, and then from now on it's a waiting game to see if I have won. There is one more technology that helps with tourism, and that is internet, which can be found close to the end of the tech tree. With this strategy though, you may not actually need it. I'm going to take one last look at the Culture Victory tab before the victory triggers. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from. Forward Fox, over and out.
You have achieved victory through the awesome power of your culture. Your civilization's greatness, the magnificence of its monument, and the power of its artists has astounded the world. Poets will honor you for as long as beauty brings gladness to a weary heart.